Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Black Mirror 2. So, after doing probably 5 escape the room puzzles, particularly if you include escaping from being tied up to a chair, we've been locked into a building, and once we got untied from the chair, there's just a ton of junk. It's a ton of junk to look at. Let's try to look at everything.
The idea of these things is that you hang your suit or uniform over it to stop it creasing. You can then maybe brush it down too.
Like, I don't have my camera with me, so looking at things right now is only around the idea of picking objects up. I assume what I'm trying to do is maybe make a fake version of me so that when the people come back and try and capture me,
looks like tightly bundled material.
I'll get
Towels,
the jump on them.
Bed covers, sheets, blankets. Perhaps the occupiers weren't able to take them with them, but also didn't want to just leave them to the rats and mice. That's why they bundled them all up as tightly as they could. The thing weighs at least 60 pounds. I'd rather not drag that around with me.
So I'm just gonna try and click on everything and hopefully not trigger too much. There's clearly several things to set up some kind of trap.
Pretty ugly. I bet that thing hasn't always hung here. Looks like it belongs in a hall or a drawing room. It was probably taken down at some time and then stored here.
It seems almost like the Gordon family curse can only be stopped by a Gordon. Also, that seems to be
this
the case.
Rope was lashed around my chest.
Like,
it's not
otherwise they're
than
just
the other
like
pieces.
kill Darren if they're trying to stop the demon from being summoned, or maybe the conspirators are the bad guys and the story is more straightforward than I thought it was.
The remains of what I was tied up with. Several pieces of rope, all between 1 and 2 yards long.
So we get all this rope. And these are, I believe, combining. I guess they're not combining.
This place in the wall looks a little strange somehow.
Looks like a dumbwaiter.
A secret compartment.
Alright, what's in the secret compartment?
A kid's toy. Nothing more than kids' toys. Some child must have made themselves a store here. I've already got the toy car. I don't need any more of those things.
There's a beam up here.
Exposed ceiling beams. Pretty rustic, all that.
I have half a thought that I'm in the Black Mirror mansion.
There's some other stuff on the shelf. Looks like the mice have been at them. Some of the things have holes in them. A head. I think it's for putting your wig on so that it keeps its shape. I can definitely use that.
So, yeah, it's kind of obvious what's going on here. We've got...
Damn it, not holding. They certainly...
Like, we're gonna have to find some kind of attachment.
A battery-powered toy car. When you turn it on, it just goes dumbly straight ahead. Looks like it's hardly been played with.
So, piece of rope on the bale of cloth.
The pieces of rope are too short.
Or the rope, the longer rope on the bale of cloth.
I'll tie the rope onto the binding. Like that.
So I still haven't fully figured out what I'm supposed to be doing, but I've got half a clue. Boy, is that animation wrong. Glitchy game. Glitchy game. Yeah, and we'll eventually get to the point where just like all DirectX 9 and earlier games simply just don't run. No no question about it. The modern graphics cards are just not going to be that backward
Two
compatible.
landscape pictures. One shows a small rural town, and the other one a moorland scene. There's a brass plate under the picture of the town. There's something on it. Cardiff 1812.
Well, that's certainly not Willow Creek. Let's look out the window.
The windows are nailed up with heavy planks. I'm not gonna get out of here.
We've got some kind of table. So what do we have? We have the chair, the beam, the rope, the bale of that, and then the sheet. And so prepare for either a jump scare or nothing.
Let's see what's behind it. Interesting. A family tree. Hey, maybe he'll give me some pointers to where I... There, right at the top. Samuel and Catherine Gordon. Then is that the Gordon's family tree? So this house also belongs to a Gordon. Are they behind the whole thing?
Would Samuel and Catherine be at the top? Like, that's a weird way to do a family tree. The most recent family members at the top. Usually it's the other way around, going downwards. But
the
okay.
Gordon's family tree, beginning with Marcus and Mordred, and going up to Samuel and Catherine Gordon. Hundreds of years of family history, full of murder and suffering.
Very little of which Darren would have known anything about. He seems to prophetically, just because the writers know things, know things. Right. This with this, I guess. We still have the breadcrumbs. Where do we get the breadcrumbs back? Seems almost like the game is intentionally
a tarted up version of a clothes dummy.
Letting me keep the breadcrumbs as just a joke. Alright, let's go ahead and just see if any of these items work with any of these things. It should light up red if it would. Nope.
The office chair won't fit in here at all. It was probably brought here to tie me onto.
Let's grab the rope. Tie it to the window, I guess.
Let's see. That works all right. I somehow have to draw my conscientious guards into the room.
There's nothing I'm missing here.
The rope is secured to the bale and goes over the joist. Looks very promising. The rope is secured to the bale and goes over the joist. Looks very promising.
Just trying to exhaust everything. But it doesn't seem like that's gonna work. Alright, well, let's see. White sheet, white sheet, white sheet. Right here, here. No. And didn't we just try all of this stuff? And I guess I really shouldn't be afraid of a instant failure.
The pieces of rope are too short.
Because the game has been very nice about
too short.
About letting us get away with making mistakes and auto-saving. Darren doesn't seem to ever call for help, regardless of how many times he gets locked up.
Hallway with a stair at the end. There's a kids program on the TV.
This is the Gordons.
Is there anything I can do for you, Samuel?
So Samuel, Darren is now getting Samuel's memories.
Yes, we've arrived. It's nice here. Everything's just like you said. No, Tom's gone shopping. Yes, Tom tied him up with rope. I know. The man wasn't very nice to me. But I don't think it's good that he can't leave. Yes, I'll keep watch. Bye.
So, why was I mean to him?
I think I'm slowly going mad. There was a woman's voice. She called me Samuel, and I heard music. Alright, now I really must pull myself together. Bobby's sitting down there, and Tom's somewhere around too. The pair of them have kidnapped me on behalf of someone who knows this house. But where the hell am I here? And more importantly, how the hell do I get away?
I didn't think we were gonna end up in the Cardiff house from the first game. That didn't... Apparently I'm just gonna try this.
Bobby'll notice the car, come up here, and we'll open the door. Then he'll see right away that I'm no longer sitting on the chair. If I'm unlucky, he won't come in and will bolt the door from the outside. Or he'll be so alert that he'll spot the trap.
So now things that I tried to do earlier are going to actually work. Hey, this is...
Wobbles a little, but the back of the chair is supporting the head. Why should I tie up the clothes dummy? It's definitely not gonna struggle.
Put the sheet over it.
Not bad at all.
So the thought, I think, would be to trip him. Like, I've got this bit of rope.
Ugh. The pieces of rope are too short.
Apparently that bit of rope is not necessary. Let's see if we can just do this. I wouldn't have expected Bobby to be involved. Just why would they include him? Oh, I also wouldn't have expected for them to reuse the sword asset from the old game.
Now I need to act quickly.
Hello? Everything okay?
Well, I'm gonna do something nasty now. Am I supposed to click a button? Because I don't have a mouse or cursor or anything. Nope, that was just all a cutscene.
Sorry, Bobby. Nothing personal. And now, let's get out of here. But where's all my stuff? I need my camera.
Seriously need your camera?
He's still tied up and unconscious.
Okay. Charge rag.
Alright. The fire's out. It wouldn't have burned for much longer anyway.
So let's just get out of here, I guess.
Let's hope that Tom doesn't choose right now to come home from shopping, and that it's not all that far to the next town.
So what's in this room? Banners, things to look at.
Some kind of banners or flags. Strange that no one's taken them. These things usually stand for history and tradition. And would somebody who lives in a castle like to have them with them? On the other hand, if you wanted to leave everything behind you, then probably these things would be the first. Who might that have been? The king of the castle?
Like, it's kind of silly for Darren to be in this room because he doesn't know anything. He's not going to learn anything from it.
Well, it's funny that lots of folk like to hang carcasses on the wall. This castle must be a few hundred years old. It would only ever have been heated with fireplaces back then. The chimney probably went through several rooms, so that it could give off heat all over. The piano seems to me to be at least 100 years old. Mom got a lot of pleasure from it. She used to play piano very well. I don't play any instrument at all. And if I could, then I'd rather play bass in a grunge band than a piano in a castle.
Cell phones. Call 911. I've been kidnapped.
That's a pretty old-fashioned cell phone. Modern ones only weigh about a pound and are no more than 12 inches long.
Just got a lot of things to click on here.
Wow. The car seems to have withstood the impact well.
Just come back and try and pick everything up.
Sure, I could call the police, but what would I say to them? Help, help, I've been kidnapped and I'm now sitting in a house somewhere in Britain. Or rather, allegedly somewhere in Britain. For all I know, I could be in Denmark. Or India. I need more information first.
Look at the chest. So if the idea is that Samuel, Darren here is getting
chest.
Samuel's memories.
Now are my things in there?
Like,
Locked.
did Samuel get his ancestors'
otherwise.
memories? Let's see. Did they really need to animate this scene?
The lock in the lid kind of suggests that it's not going to be easy to get the lid open. Yep, so it is. I'm guessing that the chest isn't as old as it looks at first glance. As far as I know, numerical locks like this haven't been around for long. You have to enter the right 3-figure combination. Only, what is it?
Let's look at the decoration.
The carving shows small circles over a line. Perhaps some kind of pitch information? That's too many circles for me to tell. That's too...
So, okay. Can't open that.
I didn't know what I should play, apart from the fact that I probably wouldn't be able to play anyway.
Just trying to look at everything.
In Evil Dead, I thought these stag heads were funny, but this one here is pretty quiet and sure hasn't got much to laugh about.
Do we really need an Evil Dead reference?
It doesn't look like there's been a fire here recently, but there are still a few charred bits of wood in the stove. I'll take one of the smaller pieces.
So this feels like maybe...
Now my fingers are all black.
If I had a piece of paper, I could do a rubbing on the puzzle. Yeah, here's the sandwich paper.
Bobby must have had himself a sandwich. And there's the wrapping paper still lying there.
An entire scene around one puzzle that could have easily been just in the previous room. Have a little bit more action. Have us open the chest, get our items out, and then escape through jumping out the window.
The circles are recessed into the wood. That means that they must be able to be traced on the paper using a piece of charcoal. Hey, worked well. You can easily recognize the circles as well as the lines. What if the circles on the chest are simplified notes? Notes which just give the pitch but not the duration of the note.
So it's not as simple apparently as just seeing some numbers there. We're gonna have to do something with
the circles on the chest be simplified notes? Notes which just give the pitch, not the duration? If they really are notes, then there's a starting point missing. Perhaps you can begin anywhere and just have to pay attention to the relative pitch of the notes with one another.
If this is gonna be a puzzle, it's gonna be kind of a nightmare one. Yeah. So we could start here, and we could go here, and then we could go here, and then we could go here, and we could go here, and then we could go here. Yep, I think this will work. Why did that not work? Let's see. That. Like, I don't see a reason why this wouldn't work. Yeah, as soon as I can skip this, I'm just gonna skip this because I don't understand what they're trying to imply here. Like, one whole note up, then the same note, then a half note down, then a 1.5 notes up to make a whole note, then one whole note down, then a half note down, and then that. There's only a few places where this would even make sense or work. And like some of these things you can't even click on. Like over here, none of these are it. It starts here and it ends here. So you only have a full bar in the first place. I guess maybe I could start here. Well, I'm ready to give up. I think I did that 3 different times correctly. Unless I'm misunderstanding something. I don't care.
That was it. I think. I didn't make any Always the same note.
So, what is that? Tell me. How's that combined into a 3-digit combination? Like, seriously. I don't have a freaking clue. This game is just getting worse and worse with every puzzle, with every little attempt. It's just getting more and more obscure. And I keep doing this to myself, playing these bad point-and-click adventures. In fact, I've specifically decided to go through my wish list on Steam and just filter out a lot of the point-and-click adventure games that I was thinking about looking at, if they're at low ratings or mixed ratings, because I've just kind of had enough of it. If things like Broken Sword 5, which was the 5th game in a series and should have been really good, then I didn't like it. If Black Mirror as a series that's pretty well known doesn't interest me, I think maybe I'm just kind of not as big of a fan of point-and-click adventures. Okay, the piano played the same note 3 times, then another note twice, and then the same note 5 times. So 3, 2, 5, I guess, is what I was supposed to get from that. But only on a piano that apparently, like, I don't even know how that works. Like, that's not what the sheet music looked like to me. But that's a combination, so whatever.
Sounds like it's done something.
Open it.
Combination worked. Alright, there's my stuff. Alright, I'll just take this stuff. I probably won't need the rest anymore.
So what do we get and what do we lose? For the most part, we still are holding on to most of the things that we have. They got rid of maybe a couple of things, but not really. Still have the breadcrumbs. One assumes I'll use or get rid of these items, or the camera will just forever be in the 4th position.
I think that the picture has turned out very well.
And let's just see if there's anything else I need to do. Let's just exit. We got our stuff, let's get out of here. We're still probably locked on the grounds. And the grounds are certainly overgrown, which is kind of a slap in the face of the groundskeeper that we harassed in the first game.
Wonderful. I'm in the middle of nowhere. The next house could be miles away, and Tom could be back at any minute. I think I better find out where I am first. If Tom does come back, I can always jump into the bushes.
So what do we have to look at? We have a boy who we can talk to and a statue we can look at. It's just a boy? I don't see a boy.
The boy's around 12 years old, I guess. Looks like he could be watching me. Hey, kid! I know you're there. Come out, I'm not gonna hurt you.
You couldn't anyway. I'm much too quick for you.
If you say so. I'm Darren Michaels, a mighty physics student.
I'm Van Helsing.
Whoa, the vampire hunter? I always thought you were a bit older, sir.
Let's see, let's give him the toy and bribe him.
I saw some toys in the castle. Are they yours?
Yes, all my things. And my car. I got that for my birthday. I daren't go in there since those men have been there.
You better not. They're dangerous.
Are they werewolves?
No. But they kidnapped me.
Cool.
Like, there's a kid here that they didn't even bother to animate.
Can you tell me where I am? What's this castle?
Eh? It's the old Gordon's place.
The Gordons? From Willow Creek?
Willow Creek? I don't know what you're talking about. Sir Richard and Lady Eleanor used to live here.
And where are we exactly?
Where? In Wales.
Oh, great.
Really
Have
unnecessary
you seen the
to
two men who are
leave
living in the castle
Willow
now?
Creek.
Yes, nasty men.
You bet.
One of them chased me. Said he would call the police if I don't disappear.
I'm sure he wouldn't do that.
The woman was much nicer.
Which woman?
The pretty one.
I see.
Was here a few weeks ago. She was snooping around and asked me about the summer house and the laboratory. And then she went. She took some blood samples with her.
Strange. Did she tell you her name or what she planned to do with them?
She needed the blood for research. Angelina said.
Whoa, what?
For research. Maybe she's a vampire hunter too.
He has a
What did the
picture of
woman look like?
Angelina.
Well, like a woman. Pretty.
Like this? Did she look like this?
Yes, that's her. But she had long blonde hair when she was here. I liked her much more like that.
Long blonde hair. And when did you say she was here?
It was before my birthday. About 4 weeks ago.
Long before we coincidentally bumped into each other in Biddeford.
So Angelina seems to be involved in all of this. Changed her appearance and was investigating before then. I guess it would throw my argument that the photo that he's been carrying around should have been more risque for this incident in which he's showing it to a kid. Although you could write around that and make some hilarious excuse where he's like, I'll have to put my thumb over the naughty bits so he doesn't see that.
What kind of summer house is that?
It's all ruins.
There was this whole
Grew up.
fantasy
Really?
part in the first
Yes,
game about the
long time
laboratory.
ago. My father says that old Sir Richard
Like,
died in
it was
the
very
explosion.
weird how they
He had his
added that part.
laboratory in the summer house. He was a scientist. I think he was a vampire.
Really?
Of course. He experimented with blood. Who else does that kind of thing?
Maybe you're right. And they gave up the castle after the explosion?
Maybe. That was 10 years ago. Since I've been coming here, the castle has always been empty.
What exactly did the woman do when she was here?
Looked at the castle and the summer house, especially the house.
Do you know what she did there?
Looked for something, and I think she tried to get into the old laboratory. At some point, she gave up and started searching at the tomb in the marshes. I had to go home because it was starting to get dark. When I came back the next day, she walked past me coming from the summer house. She had a bag of blood in her hand and was very happy. And then she left.
Listen, Van Helsing, can you do me a favor and keep watch for the car and the other man coming back? I need to have a look around here and, I need a lookout.
Of course. Nothing gets past me.
Excellent.
See, even if you were at the
Can't
lowest
possibly be a
possible
coincidence.
resolution, you still wouldn't
Angela
see
snoopes
much
around
of
the
that
Gordon
kid.
estate, and I discover a connection to this very family in Biddeford. Did Angelina lie to me? The question is, did she have a good reason, or does she work for the Order? I can't leave here before I found some answers.
Alright, and that moved everything over. So, take a picture of the statue, I guess. From all the way over there. He's gonna do his little dance. And even if these pictures are unlocking like great extra images, the game is doing a very poor job of showing them to you. Why not simply show the images as they're getting taken, or after they're taken? So we've got a castle, we've got a marsh, and we've got a statue. Just Nothing to do with that or that.
What a dump. The castle looks like it's been fighting a battle with nature for the past 10 years. And lost. A dream habitat for frogs and swamp plants. But that wasn't ever the plan, for sure.
Yeah, I still don't get what this game is doing.
It smells all rotten and a bit airless. Probably the leaves from the trees rotting in the water.
I could make an argument, and I don't know if this is a fully valid or thought out argument, but what if Black Mirror 1 didn't have this whole section of gameplay in it, and instead they worked on a different castle
Everything's so run down
and had most of the game take place in this area with maybe a different village in Wales, and then near the third act of Black Mirror 2, this theoretical Black Mirror 2 that would have come out just a couple of years after the first one.
Clothing, I bet he never reckoned on ending up standing
you would have
in a
ended
swamp.
up back at Black Mirror Castle. That would have been probably a much better move just in the long-term production idea, instead of having Black Mirror 1 be this incredibly long game with too many scenes, too many characters, too many actions.
Only this window has been nailed shut. The others were left unprotected and so for the most part are broken. It looks like the occupiers moved out in a hurry. Or they didn't care about what happened to the castle.
Well, this also was the area that was sinking in the ground.
Not long now and you'll see this place is one green sea of plants.
Yeah, instead of the 8-year difference between Black Mirror 1 and Black Mirror 2, you could have easily held back. They are doing us a favor and skipping a couple of scenes that don't seem like we're going to have to do anything with, and I'm happy for that. Let's see, we've got a tower, got a garden hose, let's just go in. Got a water tap.
A water hose, which apparently they used to use to blast the garden. It's had it. There's a huge rip in it about a yard long. There's probably water in it over the winter, and when it froze, it will have bursted.
Yeah, I was seriously doubt a hose would last 10 years.
Hoses have been real useful to me up till now. Hopefully the same goes for this one. That could have been a tower at one time. The princess would have been locked in the top, waiting for her knight in shining armor.
I don't even remember this section of the first game that well. I know this happened. It just felt like a side story that was very odd.
I'm pretty sure that there's something interesting inside, but I can't get inside from here.
And see, the weird thing is, if you've played the first game, then you sort of know how to get into the laboratory. So it's gonna have to be a slightly different
what's
puzzle.
Left of it is not as old as the other ruins here. That's where someone either tried to turn into the entrance, or the wall fell down through old age. Behind the wall is where a kind of moat begins, maybe 4 or 5 yards deep.
This was always a weirdly
This wall is
designed.
definitely just as old as the tower, and just as shaky. Had to keep away from it.
Just make sure that we're not missing any opportunities.
This lamp definitely hasn't worked for eons, and for...
Sorry. I'm getting bored with this stuff too, though.
Wrecked. Like everything here.
Getting bored with clicking all this stuff.
The bowl is full to the brim with water. The outlet's probably blocked so that the rainwater can't escape.
Let's see, nothing here. Just still the wall and the collapsed wall. And maybe we'll do something with that. Nope, let's move to the back.
A tree's blocking the way. But I reckon I can climb over the trunk.
In the first game we were running around collecting soul keys. Now we're just kind of following Samuel Gordon's lineage. Like,
oh damn! That could also have gone in my eye.
alright, so we have a hook, have a marsh.
Luckily, it seems to have not rained here for a while. That's why the morass is relatively hard and dry. Otherwise, I would have sunk in deeper and might not have been able to get out on my own.
So let's start with just the simplistic things. Do we have anything here to take a picture of? Way too many things to click on now. We went from a bunch of locked room puzzles to now just a different style of gameplay completely. Way too many items. It feels like they handed at least 2 or 3 teams projects, and some of them didn't know how to make a point-and-click adventure game that worked well. Let's see. Start with the
monument. And there's more behind. Maybe some kind of family plot. Strange. None of the graves look like they're from recent years. Most of the stones must have been standing there for decades. Is that also some kind of grave? Huh. Nope. Rather more like a water basin. There's about ½ an inch of duckweed floating on the water.
Do we need to collect duckweed for some reason?
Huh. It's a miracle that the stairs haven't collapsed. But I'm still not gonna step on them.
Just trying to eliminate as many things as possible.
The statues are of veiled women, grieving for the dead. In their book it says... nothing.
It says literally nothing, or does he just not care to share?
A pulley, somewhat battered and weathered.
I don't
But
see
it
a
still
pulley on the
works.
ground at all. Like,
Looks useful. I'll take it with me.
game is getting lazy.
Luckily, it seems to have not rained here for a while. That's why the morass is relatively hard and dry. Otherwise, I would have sunk in deeper and might not have been able to get out on my own.
And I'll walk over here. We have something way over here to deal with. A hook and the summer house.
A hook. It still looks pretty sound despite the rust. It's damn well fixed. I'm not gonna get it out with my bare hands.
Well, one assumes we're gonna use the pulley. Maybe not.
It's a miracle that so much of the house is still standing after the tree smashed into it. Yeah. Nothing interesting to
what
see.
What are we gonna do at the end of the
roof
game?
In and buried the room below it.
Are we going to find a bunch of soul keys again? Or are we gonna do something else?
No chance. The door's wedged. And even if it wasn't, the building looks likely to fall down any minute anyway.
See, this just walks us back to the front. And then this just walks us back to the back. And so we kind of know we're going to the crypt. But what are we finding in the crypt? Not much.
3 very similar trees. All about as thick as an arm. About 3 or 4 yards tall. And pretty bent over by the wind.
Sounds like something that you might use the pulley on. Maybe not. Maybe we put the rope and the pulley together.
The trees only have their first branches quite high up. And barely any leaves. They're obviously not doing too well. But they're still too thick to break them and bring them down.
So yeah, unless I'm supposed to use the hose on them, or the pulley, or the rope. Or a metal bar. Kind of surprised we still have the metal bar. Well, it's been another 45 minutes. We're on chapter 4. I thought this game would be a 5-chapter game. Seems like I'm accurate on that. The only thing that's slightly surprising me is that I had also thought that there was going to be some kind of flashbacks. It's hard to believe that there's going to be much flashbacks. Even if the entire 5th chapter is a flashback scenario, that's just going to feel weird and awkward. I was thinking it would be closer to 3 out of 5 chapters set in the past. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, I'm asking people to friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a